David, the Whitworth women's golf team had an opportunity to go down and compete in a couple of prestigious Division III tournaments, and just talk about how things went for the Pirates in Arizona and then in Southern California.
Yeah, we just this last week went down, traveled for 5 days, two-day tournament in Arizona and two-day tournament in Southern California. Played pretty well, both tournaments. Some of the best teams in the country. Let's see, 10 teams in Arizona. We finished 7th out of 10. I think the 6 teams that beat us are all about top 10 in the country. We beat some top 25, top 35 schools as well. So, you know, we held our own real well. The challenge that we had, I was really proud of our ladies going into both of these tournaments. For the 5 that traveled, is, you know, we're basically competing against warm weather schools, right? So, and honestly, we in a lot of ways shot some of our best scores of the year, and beat some warm weather schools who've been teeing it up all winter. So that's a testament to our team's preparation. We got the new Piggott Golf Center facility, 2 simulators in there. Worked real hard to get ready for these tournaments. Traveled down to Tri-Cities a couple times when, you know, weather wasn't quite ready here in Spokane. So we prepped well and did well in Arizona. The next morning, right after Arizona's 2-day tournament, we headed straight to Southern California, long 7-8 hour drive, and teed it up the next morning in Cal Lutheran's tournament. So we played 4 days in a row. We knew it. We'd done it last year. We knew it'd be a big battle again this year, you know, from an energy standpoint. But played well again at Cal Lutheran. I think, let's see, we had a 36-hole tournament this second tournament, and we finished 6th out of 11, so middle of the pack, same thing. You know, most of the best teams on the West Coast were there. 6th out of 11. I felt okay about. Honestly, we probably ran into a little bit of an energy wall that first round. We played 27 awesome holes at the Cal Lutheran tournament, and 9 holes where we looked like we were really tired. And you know what? Without those 9 holes, we easily finished 3rd place by a mile. I believe we were the 3rd seed there. I believe we were the 3rd best team in the tournament there, but we also had played a ton of golf and traveled a lot. So a little bit of a energy thing that we ran into. But all in all, our goal, you know, being ranked this year, coming off the fall, was to prove that we kind of deserved that ranking, and we did that. We held our own very well in both tournaments.
You had 5 players go down and compete in these tournaments, and which meant that there were 4 or 5 players who were still up here in Spokane, and some quality players. You've talked about the depth on this team.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Is it now back to, because you've got a little time before your next event, is it now back to, all right, we're going back out there, going back to work to see who gets to go to the next tournament? Are they all back up in the air for that?
Yeah, you know, that's exactly right. We've got a real deep and strong bench, and we've played, in addition to these tournaments, 36 holes of qualifying this week, 36 holes of qualifying next week. We've got an extra individual going to our next tournament next week in Northern California. And I've told the ladies that honestly, I'm strongly considering giving some new blood an extra crack at an extra tournament or 2 this spring. So if we have the same 5 that have clearly emerged as our best players, then we'll keep it that way. But we've got some people that haven't played yet a lot this year, and they may get a nod if it's a tough call. I may just give somebody else a nod and see if we can get a little shot in the arm from them. So, you know, I believe, I'm a Pete Carroll guy personally. You know, honestly, his coaching philosophy is compete and, you know, let the players determine it for themselves. And although he's a football coach, I like to bring that to our golf team and just let the ladies qualify and compete and just kind of see who earns the spot. And you know what? I gotta tip my hat to the gals. Like, I love our team. They're competing for spots, and yet they, like, the team environment and the way they conduct themselves is amazing. They're great friends. They're real close. It's pretty cool how they do it. Fun to watch.
And then Easter weekend, you're going to be traveling, as you mentioned, back to California, this time Northern California, to compete in a tournament hosted by UC Santa Cruz. Again, a tournament you've been at before. Talk about the field you're going to face there.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, seems like, again, you know, not to beat a sounding drum, but all the best teams on the West Coast. I loaded up our spring with the most difficult possible schedule we could, so that, I mean, we're ranked. It's like if we do well at these tournaments, we're playing in the postseason, hopefully in the national championship. We're gonna have to play well there in Northern California to get into the postseason. Probably have to play real well, but it's a chance. So all that to say, you know, a bunch of SCIAC schools. George Fox will be there, bringing an extra individual, and if we do well, then we'll have an extra tournament waiting for us in May.